So somebody is writing, because they're saying, I don't want to be destructive, and I want to reform and transform my destructive emotions. But why is it in the White Tara sadhana that at one point we visualize the dark blue rays radiating from ourselves, making as part of the protection circle, and bringing about the accomplishment of the activities of destruction? Okay, so we have to understand this, that in Kriya Tantra, or Tantra in general, they speak of 4 activities: peace, increase, power or control or influence, and wrath. And these are done in order to benefit sentient beings, so they're all done with the mind of compassion. So clearly, doing peaceful activities to pacify sentient beings' minds, to make them calm, doing activities of increase to increase their merit, their lifespan, their wisdom, all their virtuous qualities. The activity of control or influence, whereby you're able to steer people in a good direction and get them going in the right way instead of them wandering all over the place. And then the 4th one is the activity of wrath, and this is this is not wrath towards other living beings or towards oneself, but it's the attitude of, now it's time to cut it out. Okay? And so regarding oneself, sometimes in dealing with our afflictions, there's just time to cut it out and not give it any space and room. Okay? And so in a similar way, sometimes in helping other sentient beings, we just have to cut out what the problem is and, not give it any space. And so that's what's meant by wrath there. Actually, in the sadhana, it should say the activities of wrath instead of the activities of destruction. And the activities of wrath are to destroy our afflictions. Okay? This is clear now? Okay. Then the person was also wondering about, in the sadhana, we can visualize that the Lord of Death is below us, and as the white light and nectar are coming through us and purifying, and all the obstacles to our life and our negativities and so forth are leaving in the form of filth and scum and things like that, then one option in our visualization is to think that the Lord of Death, there isn't really a Lord of Death. This is an anthropomorphization of what is unwanted. Okay, death is unwanted. So, the Lord of Death is a monster with this vicious thing, ready to gobble up everything that's virtuous, and our life as well, is underneath. And as we're purifying, all this negativity in us becomes like nectar to the Lord of Death. Okay, and so it goes into his mouth, and he's satisfied, yummy in the tummy. And when you finish the purification, then you don't want him to burp. Sorry, I have to joke sometimes. And so his mouth is sealed with a double dorje. A double dorje is, the dorjes that we often see, and it's a crossed one, so it goes on his mouth. And then he disappears below the earth, completely contented and happy. Okay? So this is all a symbolic visualization that helps us see that our negativities are purifying. They're actually being transformed into something that makes the Lord of Death and the forces of death happy, so that they disappear and go beneath the earth again. Okay, so we're using symbolism here to deal with our mind. Don't, grasp onto these kinds of things as literal. Okay?